Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker. Welcome to the show, y'all. Look here. Tim was just in the process of figuring out what to say to Scooter, right? You got to be careful when you say something to somebody in here about what they got going on and all that kind of stuff, because people turn stuff around. People turn stuff around, and next thing you know, you got problems, right? And by Scooter being one of the guys, man, you got it on a whole nother level. But Tim saw other individuals, other affiliates, and everybody watching these moves, because everybody is shooting at Miss Gardner. Everybody. I'm talking about, man, oh my goodness. Miss Gardner. You understand what I'm saying? Let me give you an idea, a little better idea, because you need to have this in the context about Miss Gardner, right? Have you ever seen Friday with Ice Cube? You know what I'm saying? And you remember the lady that Bernie Mac was sneaking, Bernie Mac playing the preacher, crooked preacher. He messing with this guy. She's married to the little midget dude, right? This Miss Gardner, you understand? This who I'm talking about. Somebody like that. Bad to the bone. Bad to the bone. She was a little older, you know what I'm saying, than most of the guys in there. She was older than Scooter, right? But hey, look here. She crispy, right? Crispy. I'm telling you now. Keeping it real with you. But look here, let me get back to the story. So Tim, he's trying to figure out what to say. He's talking to himself, but you can't hear him. You know what I'm saying? But his mouth is moving. So he find his way over to Scooter. He said, Scooter. Hey, he said, can I talk to you? Can I talk to you? So Scooter, he was cool with Tim. He's like, yeah, what's up? What's going on? He said, no, in private. We need to talk in private. So it's a part of the dining room where you can go outside, out the back doors, right? That's why all the stock and stuff comes in, right? When the truck pulls up, or when you're taking trash out, you know what I'm saying, to the dumpster, they stepped out there, so wasn't nobody out there, so they could talk in private, right? So Tim tell him, he said, look, Scooter, he said, man, look here, I ain't trying to get in your business, and you know what I'm saying, right? But he's looking around, trying to make sure ain't nobody else watching, and making sure that nobody else can hear them talk. You understand? So he's looking around, making sure. And Scooter looked like, calm down, Tim. Tell me what's going on, man. He said, look, you got other people watching you, man. You got other people watching. I'm telling you now. Everybody peep the move. They peeping the move. You need to be careful about what you're doing. So Scooter like, what are you talking about? Peep what move? What's going on? So Tim took his hand and he tapped him on his pocket, right? He hit him on the pocket. He said, oh. He said, that right there, what you got in your pocket, you need to watch it. Everybody's watching, man. You know how everybody is, and you need to be careful, man. Don't get in no trouble, man. So Scooter looked at him. He said, man, appreciate that. I appreciate you looking out, man. He said, anything else? He was like, no. He said, I just wanted to let you know, man. Just keep it on the low, man. You know how it is, man. You better keep it on the low, man. So Scooter looking at him. He said, all right, man, let's go and get back in here, man. He said, I appreciate you looking out, right? So they go on back in to the dining room. Tim go back to his little spot, cleaning pots and pans and trays. Scooter get on back to his business, right? Running around, you know what I'm saying, trying to find a spot where he can pull over and talk to Miss Gardner. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to be careful about that. Whether Tim is watching or not, anybody watching or not, you still got to be careful about that, because the police might see it too. You got to be real careful about that. So anyway, he gets back in the dining room and he sees Miss Gardner. He ain't finna tell her about that though. No way, no how. One thing that's not gonna happen. You know, most people that in the penitentiary, when they trying to make a move like that, they're not going to tell the individual that they're trying to pull up on, because that's going to spook them, because they could lose their job for that. So they're not finna tell them, look here, somebody seen that. They want them to believe that everything is copacetic. You understand what I'm saying? When I say copacetic, everything is cool. You feel what I'm saying? So look, check this out. Him and Miss Garden, they pull up and they talking, you know what I'm saying? And he moving around, and then he make his move. He done popped a piece of that chewing gum in his mouth. And when she come up on him, he chewing on it real nice and slow. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make it look seductive. You know what I'm saying? And appealing to her, right? She said, oh, I see you chewing the chewing gum. He was like, oh, yeah. He said, I got to get ready for our kiss. And she said, oh, you moving fast, ain't you? And he looked back at her. He said, shoot, I know that's what you bought it for. You want that kiss. She said, yeah, I was curious about it. You did make me think about it, you know. She said, but look, don't mess up. She said, it better be good, because if it ain't good, I'm gone. He said, oh, you won't be disappointed. She said, all right, then. She looked at him. She said, make it happen then. So when they tell you to make it happen, this is what they mean, right? When they tell you to make it happen, you got to find the time, the location, and make sure the area is secure, meaning nobody is going to see the move, right? And now, keep it real, she can't just pull up and kiss him in the middle of the dining room in front of everybody, right? So there are very few spots that's wide open, that's closed off and not wide open in a dining room. But two of the spots in the dining room that's key for being able to make something like this happen is the restroom, the staff restroom, and the freezer where they put the food. Don't sound romantic, does it? Don't sound romantic at all, right? But you got to be careful. And another one, let me hold on, there's one more, the dry goods section. When I say dry goods, I mean cereal and the seasonings and stuff like that, right? That's in a cabinet, you know what I'm saying, a cage all the way in the back. So you gotta, you know what I'm saying, be able to do it. It ain't gonna be no long kiss. We're not doing no Marilyn Monroe type stuff. You know what I'm saying? It could be about maybe 10, 15 seconds, you know what I'm saying? Get a little tongue, get a little feel, keep it moving. It's just how it is, right? It ain't no making love in the penitentiary, y'all. If anybody ever told you that, they lying to you. They lying to you. You know what I'm saying? It's rabbit time in here. That's just what it is. Always trying to move fast, get it in, get it out, and then you can talk about it and turn it into something on the mental. It's all about what it's defined as, not what it actually is, right? It's a mind thing in the penitentiary, y'all. You got to keep that on your head right there, right? So look, Scooter making his moves, he's watching. See, now he got to pay attention. He got to figure out everybody's moves, everybody, you know what I'm saying, patterns and where they go and when they go and how they go, right? And then in all of that, he's got to figure out the best time for him to pull up on her and say, let's go. Because she's already on alert. And when he pull up on her, they going to make the move. So he's watching. You got some of the guys, you know what I'm saying? Because when you one of the guys, you got to, you know what I'm saying, always be accounted for by one of the other guys. You know, everybody's looking out for each other because you got the opposition that works in there too, right? And you never know, somebody might try to pull you off in the corner and hit you with that butcher or something like that. You never know, right? So everybody's making sure that bro accounted for, bro over here, bro over there, and all this and that, right? So he's got to worry about them seeing it too because he don't want them to peep the move. But most people in the kitchen already done peeped the move about the chewing gum because Tim told him. So he's got to be aware of all that. It's a whole lot going on trying to just get a kiss in here, y'all. I'm telling you now. So look, he's watching. He's learning everybody's patterns. When they go to the restroom, when the officer comes around and makes his round, he's counting how much time it's going to take for the officer to come in, make his round, have his little talk sessions with all the people that he talks to, and then getting on down. You don't want to be doing something when he's making his rounds, right? Because you better be real quiet when he does. Because he's walking around counting everybody. And if he can't find everybody, then he'll lock the doors. And then he'll go door to door. He'll call in some help and go door to door. I mean to the restrooms, everywhere in there where you could be, they're going to look. And they're looking serious then because they got to count for you at all times. So he peeps the move. He said, okay, right after the count, everybody goes to the restroom or they go sit down, take them a break right after the noon count. That's the midday count, right? So he's like, okay, that's when it's got to be. But where? Where's the best spot? So he used her own schedule to benefit the move. She always takes a restroom break, right? Right after the count. Because she'll be standing out there when the count's going on, but as soon as it's over, boom, she gone into the restroom, you know what I'm saying? Her kitten is trained like that. So he pulled up on her, he said, look, check this out. After the count, you always go into the restroom, right? He said, this is what I need you to do. Keep doing that. But when you go into the restroom, don't lock the door. I'm coming in right behind you. And she looked at him. Look here. She looked at him. Her eyes got big. Because this is real now. And her heart started beating. She's getting a little nervous. And she was like, are you sure? And then she get to looking around herself trying to see, you know what I'm saying? Because she spoke. She don't know if somebody heard him or what, right? Because now it's on another level. Because when you flirting and you playing the game, that's one thing. But when you actually getting ready to go through with the move, you put your whole livelihood on the line. Because if she gets caught, it's over with. You understand what I'm saying? How do you explain that to your family and all this and that, right? Because sometimes they're going to put you on TV. So she's looking at him. She said, are you sure? But she don't want to back out because she's more intrigued than she is scared. You understand what I'm saying to you? So she was like, okay. She said, you better come right in there and don't be playing. You can't just stay up in there. And he said, look, when I come up in there, I'm gonna give you a little kiss, but then you gonna have to come on out. She said, you gonna have to come out because I still gotta use the restroom. He said, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes, give you time to go ahead and use the restroom, and then I'm gonna come on up in there, right? She said, no, you ain't. You might see me just pulling my clothes back on. And he looked at her, he said, so what? And that just made her just start laughing and giggling. He was like, is that a problem? And she looked at him and all this and that, right? And he was like, is it a problem? She was like, no. So see, he just won again right there. He just won again right there because now he know she with it. And she with it all the way. So the count come, and he's standing there, he gets counted and all this and that. He looking at his watch. He waiting a couple of minutes, giving her time. She in there. And then he make the move. Because everybody else is doing their thing, right? He make the move, and he gone up in there. Now, this the staff restroom, so it's a little bit, when they go in the back, you got to go around a little corner, so it's tucked away in the cut. You feel me? Most people just ain't going back there, right? They just ain't going to do that because they know they ain't supposed to. So he make the move. The door is wide open. It's unlocked. He turned the knob, heart started beating because it's a lot on the line for him, too. He pushed the door open and steps right on in there. He didn't push it wide open. He just enough so he could slide in to the side. He stepped on up in there. And she's sitting there, right? And she stands straight up. She was sitting on the toilet waiting on him. She stands straight up. Look here. Forehead sweating. Glistening. That paper sack brown skin of hers, right? And she looking at him. And then he reach out. He said, well? She said, well? Whispering it back to him, right? Then he stepped closer to her. She steps to him. Now their bodies are touching. And when their bodies started to touch, you could feel the heat. You understand what I'm saying? Scooter was like, okay then. Then she fell into him, right? And they started kissing. And he got him about 15 to 20 second kiss in. But while he was kissing her, he got his hands around her waist, right? You know what I'm saying? He let that hand slide down and touch the butt out. You know what I'm saying? She didn't move away. She didn't move away. And then he pulled up off of her. He said, well, what do you think? She said, you might be all right. You know, then he pulled all the way up off of her, opened the door, looked out, and slid right up out that thing. And went right back to work like everybody else. Then a couple of minutes later, she come up out of there. Now, she got look here, she already got a bad walk on. I'm talking about dangerous, man, dangerous. I'm telling you now. She come up out of there, she felt light as a feather. Because why? She had just got away with it. She had just got away with it. Y'all know how fun it is when you're doing something and you get away with it. You know what I'm saying? Just sneak it. Y'all, look, I know it's not right. I know it's not right, and I'm not condoning it, but I want you to understand how she was feeling. Her adrenaline is pumping. Her heart is about to jump up out her chest, and she like, you know what I'm saying, floating on air. Eyes just gone. You know what I'm saying? She's seeing, and now he looks different to her. Because when she said, make it happen, he made it happen. And now she's developing a certain level of trust in him. You know what I'm saying? He can make it happen. You feel me? But guess what? Guess who peeped the move, y'all? Tim. Tim, I'm telling you, Tim pays attention to everybody because the same way Scooter was mapping out everybody's patterns and habits and things that they do after the count, Tim been done that. Tim done that months ago. He knows where everybody's going to be, this, and that. And lo and behold, Scooter is not where he normally is. So he knows that he's missing. So now his eyes see, his brain works like that. If he can't figure it out, it just messes with him. You know what I'm saying? So now he's watching. And then all of a sudden, Scooter is back in his area. Miss Gardner is back over. But he notices something about the way that they're talking to each other now. It's different. It is totally different. It's almost like she's way more relaxed than she was before. And it's like Scooter's way more confident about the situation than he was before. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, he the man now. He the man now, and they over there talking, and she's laughing. Ain't nothing that funny. That's what Tim is thinking in his mind. But she's laughing, and it's a little louder. And the other individuals in the dining room, they noticed that too, right? It's like, I wonder, because everybody's always trying to find a way in, right? And Miss Gardner, the rumor's always been there that she would go. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people in here say stuff like that, and it may not necessarily be true. They'll just be throwing it out there You feel what I'm saying? And hoping somebody else catch it, and then somebody else take that first stab at it, and then if it is true, then they gonna muscle their way in, right? And that's what happens with a lot of situations. You understand what I'm saying? So now everybody's watching, even the op, they watching. And if you want to know how this thing turns out, you're gonna have to stay tuned, right? You have to stay tuned. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.
I'm getting so